Welcome to the read for 2022, August 2022, that is. My name is Lynette Clement, and I am reading from the Love Exquisite Magazine, which you can access for free at loveexquisite.com. I'm reading the article in the For the Love of Relationships. This is another good article. Excuse me. This is another good article, unedited, that is written, inspired by the messenger. The messenger. So don't kill the message. Don't kill the messenger. Um, Come in with an open mind, clear heart, good spirit. We educate to elevate. So here it goes. The article is titled Habits. So this is going to be a good one. As I was writing, it was getting a little deep for me because I was thinking about some of my own habits that may have impacted some of my relationships. So maybe you can relate to this one. So be honest and be open to listening. So it is titled Habits. The habits that we develop over the years shape how we live and how considerate or inconsiderate we are to others. Our habits are either good or bad. Our habits can get in the way of progressing towards doing something new and different. Our habits become patterns that we find difficult to steer away from. We have to be mindful of how our habits can interfere in our relationships. The way in which you might be used to doing something, your mate too may have grown accustomed to doing things in their own way as well. And it could be different from the way that you're used to. Your differences doesn't always make him or her wrong. It just means that it's different. That's it. Doesn't mean that it's wrong the way that they're doing it or the way that they think or process information because they do it differently than you. It just means that it's different. Not necessarily wrong, just different. That's another thing that you want to make sure that you keep in mind. If a person folds a towel a certain way and you're like, oh, that's not how you fold a towel. If the same end result is produced, does it really matter how they fold a towel? If a person is cutting an onion a certain way, different from the way that you do it, instead of saying, oh, that's not the way you cut an onion, is it really that serious? If this outcome is the same, the onions are cut the same way. They look just like your onions. They're just cut a different way. They just were cut a different way. If the bed is not made up to military standards, it doesn't mean that they're doing it wrong. Is the bed nice and neat and made up? The end result still the same? Then it's just different. So these are things that you want to keep in mind. So what are your habits? Think about it. Ask yourself right now, what are my habits and are they negatively affecting your relationships? How important are your habits to you? Are they worth you losing your mate over? So habits usually mean that you're stuck in your ways. People don't like to hear those words. Oh, you're stuck in your ways. But that means that you have formed habits that won't allow you or you won't allow yourself to try something different, to do something different, to think in a different way. And when I say it caused me to kind of reflect over my own past experience, I was thinking about a situation where I was dating someone. I was in a relationship, and the guy, one of the habits that he developed was a bad one to me. I didn't say wrong. I said it was a bad one to me. But I had to learn how to handle it. So here's what the situation was. I actually have a few, but I won't bore you with all of the experiences. But I'll just tell you this one. He had a difficult, well, I won't say a difficult time. He refused to put the toothpaste top back on. And for those of you who know what happens when you don't put the toothpaste top on and there's still some toothpaste at the top, it crusts, it hardens, and then you have to wet it and peel it off, and it's nasty. You know what I mean? It's nasty to just not put the toothpaste top on, to me. So in the beginning, you know, it was like, why do you have to keep leaving the toothpaste top off? And and you know, this blah, 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 blah. Why is it so serious? Why can't you just put it back on? And I'm like, I didn't take it off, you know. So it was like a conversation that may sound stupid, but it was more of an annoyance. So what I then had to tell myself was, perhaps this was how he was raised. He just was raised where nobody put the toothpaste top back on, or either that or somebody always came behind him and put the toothpaste top back on. Well, as an adult, I didn't want to be the one that was responsible for that minute task, you know, when I felt like it was something that should have been handled by the person who took the top off. So, and after me saying, you know what, I don't want to argue about this no more because it's dumb and petty, let me figure out a way to make it better so that I don't have to be aggravated by this hardened toothpaste because the top is not on. So what I decided to do in my maturity, I used to say, okay, now we're going to buy the flip top. So now the flip top doesn't come off. Now all it takes is just to flip it back. Just flip it back. You don't have to take it off. You don't have to turn nothing. You just flip it back. Once you use it, you just flip it back down after you finish. Needless to say, it worked for a while, but then that person got right back into their bad habits. So anyway, I digress. Like I said, it's you know, there's more stories of people leaving the toilet seat up, the habits, and leaving their sneakers in the middle of the floor, and, you know. But so it's certain things that you have to ask yourself, how important is this to have a discussion about? You know, you can say, oh, this person should know better. Well, you don't know how that person was raised, so you don't know what they know and what they don't know. So instead of saying, oh, you're wrong, help them work through to figure out an alternative, which is what I was trying to do. The relationship still ended despite, you know, for other reasons, but it was something that I did work through. So now if I encounter a similar situation, I know how to handle it. I don't have to go through that arguing piece in the beginning. I can just have a conversation, an adult conversation, and try to work towards a compromise, which is important when you're working with someone who have habits that you might not be accustomed to. Even I know that when I can tell you still, I probably have some habits that may impact someone else, because one of the habits that I have is everything has a place in my house. There's a place for everything. You know, when people, you go to the stores and some people save those plastic bags. Well, I have a place for plastic bags, and it's not in the drawer. It's not in the, you know, it's in a nice little Ziploc baggy thing. It's like it's deliberately made for bags, bag storage or whatever. It's not a lot of them. It's just a few, just in case. Sometimes I take people food and I have to put something in a plastic bag. But anyway, I can go on, but like I said, I won't. I have a lot of different stories and experiences, but the point I'm making with my habit is, for someone else who's not as orderly, they may come in and say, "Oh my God, like, you know, I'm leaving something out of place, and she has everything in order. She's going to snap or she's going to spaz." I'm just going to say, okay, what can we do to work together? You know, what can we, since you like to leave your sneakers in the middle of the floor, instead of leaving your sneakers in the middle of the floor in the living room, I'm going to get a tray of something that you can put, a foot shelf, a shoe rack or something you can put it in the living room, just put it on a shoe rack. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to leave them on, somehow the compromise, because you have to realize that some fires are not that big to have a blown out heated debate about. So you have to pick and choose your battles when it comes to certain habits. Now I'm not talking about the bad one, the horrible habits like drug addiction or, chronic weed smoking or cigarettes and whatever, your alcoholism. I'm not talking about those habits. Those habits can be worked through as well. Maybe not just with the help of YouTube, but maybe with the help of a professional counselor or whatever it takes. Sex addiction, those kind of habits have to be worked through professional help. I'm talking about the stuff like I'm talking about where you work together towards a compromise to get to a happy place, because in the end, when you're in these relationships, the ultimate goal is you really want to be happy. You, both of you. It's not just about you. It's not just about him. It's about both of you collectively. So you want to do what you can to be compromising, but not to the point that you compromise everything. Like you're the only one who's bending and trying to make things better and they're just doing whatever they want. I'm not talking about that kind of compromise. That's actually sacrificing your peace of mind and happiness to appease someone else. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real compromise where you work together and you come up with an agreeable solution that works for the both of you. So back to the article. So being stuck in your ways means that you have a difficult time or refuse to do things differently. You ever go to somebody's house, and guys and girls, this is a good way to figure out the person that you're really dating. You go to their house and you open up their microwave. This is going to tell you if they got a bad habit of not being clean. Open up their microwave. If their microwave has old food and splattered food splatters, is not clean, that right there tells you a lot about that person. Open up that microwave. Open up your own microwave and see what it tells about you. Go right now. Pause the video and go look in your microwave. Go look at your microwave. Is it food particles all in that microwave? That tells you about a habit that you need to really check. So anyway, that's another one of my habits, that if somebody, I see somebody microwave that's all over the place, but I might offer to clean it, So like I said, I ain't going to be like, oh, I ain't talking to them, they dirty. I might say, you know what? Maybe this was how they was raised. Maybe they don't know no better. So I'm just going to say, you want me to clean your microwave? Or knowing me, I'll probably be like, ugh, why your microwaves look like this? But then I'll be like, you want me to clean it? I might say something first, because sometimes I do that. That's a bad habit of mine. I'm working on it. Lord is still working on me. And but another thing, I just keep getting little things to talk about. But let me just hurry up and say this so I can get through the article. So I was dating this guy one time who must have never brushed his hair ever. Even though he said he did, and whatever. But so we went out, and I didn't know, because when I met him, he had a hat on. So when we went out to dinner, he had a hat on. But of course, when you sitting at the dinner table as a grown man, you take your hat off. So he took his hat off, and I was like, oh, he got a Kevin Durant. No offense, but y'all know what I'm talking about. He had the KD. And I was like, oh, wow. So I said, well, didn't you say you were married before? He was like, yeah, I was married. I'm divorced now. And blah. And I'm thinking to myself, she ain't cared nothing about you if she let you walk around with your hair looking like that. But I ain't say it, but it was in my head. So I'm thinking, okay, how do I, because this is a bad habit of mine too. Like some people might say it's a good habit, but then some people might say it's a bad habit, because they be like, why can't you just let a person be? Let them be who they want or who they are, and you accept people who they are. Well, sometimes, some things, but I want to be like, put that hat back on so I can eat, but anyway, I digress. So I did ask, did you brush your hair today? And I was talking to a grown man, and I feel bad that I had to ask that. But I mean, the head was this, like this, and I'm like, there's no way that you brush your hair, no way. Oh yeah, I brush my hair, but I'm thinking there's no way that you brushed your hair ever for your hair to be like this, like KD, yeah. So anyway, I said, do you mind? I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and I'm not lying. I am a licensed cosmetologist. I don't practice anymore, but I still know what I'm doing if I need to do it. So I said, do you mind if we go to the beauty store and I purchase, some Murray's grease. So fellas out there who got the KD, y'all want to get it nice and right, no matter how long you had the tight, this will make it right. 3 things: water, regular old water, a wave cap, and some Murray's grease. Old school, okay? It works. Water, Murray's grease, and a wave cap. Oh, and a brush. 4 things. And a brush, hairbrush. So it's 4 things.